stood here tonight has verbalized what I said in that message back to the college. Taking individually members of our team, somebody like me who's 5'8" maybe, the guy's 6'1", Clark Bryan jumping center for us. Albert Nash, 6'7", who couldn't jump over a piece of paper. Yeah. But measure any of us individually, and you know, we don't stack up with a lot of teams we played. But somebody mentioned it here 2 or 3 times. Coach made us think we were good, and something was magic about the chemistry in those years, because if you added up each one of us and what we could contribute to the success of a team, the sum total, the sum amount of the success we had and the effectiveness that we could have as a basketball team far exceeded the individual parts if you measured us separately. And that's been the thing that has stuck with me as I think back. Stories like these, but then the substance of what Coach gave us. I also said that Coach Campbell, along with Coach Crosby Holt, were 2 architects of the way that I've lived my life since being here. And dare I say it, 40 years ago, and for some of you even longer. I remember Jay Valentine taught this freshman a lot of lessons in practice about, Coach Campbell, you'll remember this, fundamentals like pick and rolls and how to set a pick and how to get through a pick and that sort of thing. But if you regarded Dave Valentine in practice, you would always get picked off no matter how much you tried to avoid it. So Coach Campbell stopped practice one day and Dave demonstrated how to set somebody up to be picked pretty hard, and just fundamentals like that. I remember coming up here before I came to Carson Newman. I was still at Lenore City, and I watched Harry Sparks, Bull Heyer, Jack Owenby, and the rest of Pete play out in the high school gym. And that's when it all started for me. Joe Holt, another one right out there, and there may be others in the room, but I remember Harry Sparks, in a desperation move, I think, although this day I think about it, shot a hook shot from the top of the circle. And I know you made it, and I know it was a hook shot, but I think it was some kind of a desperation shot out there one night, and I thought, man, that's the way it is in college. This is going to be fun. Because there wasn't going to be any way that a hook shot would come. Now, when I say hook shot, I don't mean, you know, one of these Cliff Hagan hook shots. It was a vintage Harry Sparks shot. There's Leslie. But that's when it all started for me, and I think then that the thing started in '59 over here. Is that in the field house? Well, I never played out there, but at any rate, Coach, I think about you often and talk about you often, and I'm glad to see that you're looking in better shape than most others.
Oh, we talked about having missed a home football game in how many years?
Granddaddy?
How many years? You have not missed a home football game in how many years? 54 years. One day I was in the local Breezy Spoon where Dr. Fight was frequent also, and mixes and mingles there, and I was expounding on my theory of long-term investing for the long term. Dr. Fight told the whole crowd there, says, my theory of long term is anything that matures after lunch. He told me that about 8 years ago. Play something for these people here.
Welcome, Dick. How are you?
Yes, sir.
In 1958, I believe it was, we needed a coach. Warren Wehrman was doing some traveling for the college. He was going to junior high school, junior college, he was over in North Greenville and ran across Dick Campbell somewhere. I think he heard, watched his boys play ball. He came back in glowing terms about Dick Campbell. I found a man that you ought to have here at Carson Newman College. Well, I invited Dick over. Came in with that wry smile across the town. And he looked the part. He talked the talk. And we investigated further, but I had two reservations. One is he never did play high school basketball. How could a man be able to teach basketball, coach basketball, who never played? I wondered about that. And the other reservation was that Dick was in a junior college, and this was a senior college. Could he put his boys on a senior college level as well as a junior college level? I investigated further, and everything looked good. So we invited Dick to come in as coach out there. Dick was versatile. Dick made speeches to the BSU and various other organizations, and Dick was a good man. Dick had the gym filled all the time. He mixed with the people in town. He had his coffee with them. They liked him personally. Then they came out and I heard him watched his games, and they liked that very much. And so the field house was crowded. Students came, town people came, even faculty members came at that time. But Dick made us a good coach, and town people, as I said, came in droves. They had their gym filled most of the time. And Howard Massey was at my apartment a day or two ago, several days ago now. We got talking about athletics. He's interested in athletics, especially basketball and so on. Something got around to Dick Campbell. And he said Dick Campbell was the best defensive coach he ever knew. Dick was coach of the year, I believe, in 1965. His record then was 32-4. That's pretty good, don't you think? Back then we had what we call a Tennessee conference. And Dick Campbell always won the Tennessee conference. One time, we didn't have a shot clock back then. And one time Dick came playing Austin Peay in the final game. And Dick got ahead, and he held the ball. And passed it one to the other the rest of the game. I don't know how long. But the rest of the game, and then when the game was over, next day or two, I got a nasty letter from Austin Peay. They said they're cowards, called us cowards. Well, I said if you'd let us ever got a hold of that ball, we'd have beat you. Anyway, we did that. Dick had a way of attracting good men, good strong men of character, strong. And I remember Arnold Bellinger's jersey was, what do you call it? Tired. And I remember, I believe it was Gil Luttrell. It was Gil Luttrell here?
Not here, Dr. White.
Huh?
Right here.
Right here.
I believe it was Gil, he'd get that ball, he'd bounce it down toward his goal, and his opponent right behind him. Gil would stop that quick. He ran and run over him. Gil got hundreds and hundreds of free shows. Dick like Frosty Holt and Dal Shealy and Harmon and then Ken Sparks. He inspired his men to do the best they could. They went out and made good as men he did because of two things. One is they were good character in the first place, and in the second place, Dick inspired them to do everything that they could. And I don't know how many here remember that Dick and his team went on a goodwill tour down the Latin American countries. How many remember? Who was on that team here? Anyway, they went down there. The United States State Department paid them their way. I don't know whether they got any money out of it or not, other than just expenses. That's probably what they got. They would pay exhibition games, and they would mix and mingle with the people and spread the goodwill. Dick took us to the playoffs five times, I believe, and every time he could win over every other school in the whole conference in AIA at that time, except one black school. Dick came back one day and said, Dr. Pratt, we will never win a national conference until we get some blacks on the team. But be that as it may, Dick was a good coach. I went several times, Bonus Tar, Henry Blank, Mr. Bell of the wrestling band, and Joe and maybe some others go over there. And games, I believe, started at 6 o'clock, didn't it, Dick? And we went down to the Golden Ox to get a big supper. First night I was there, so we served steak. Well, we came back and we played until about 11:30. Then the company that sponsored us took the team out to dinner after the game's all over, nearly 12 o'clock. And invited me to go along and serve steak again. That bunch of men just really real big about having 2 big steaks the same night. I said, wait a minute now. That's 6 hours apart. Any man doesn't have a stomach that would digest a steak in 6 hours has a mighty poor stomach. I told this at Henry Blank's funeral. No, not many of you were there at that time. I will tell you again. That group of men enjoyed teasing me. Yeah, I called them young whippersnappers. But nevertheless, I enjoyed it because I appreciated the fact that they're free to joke. So we're sitting there in the snack bar, which is up several steps, the lobby of the Movback Hotel, down there. And these men sitting over there, and I was standing here beside the snack bar. And here came an inebriated woman. She came up the steps, where's my boyfriend? Where's my boyfriend? That young crowd over there pointed me out. Just as she was about to indulge me, I turned around. And she said, oh, that's not my boyfriend. She said a few other inappropriate words. So we had a good time. We had a good time. That's it. Yep. We're glad you came with us. We're glad you cruised and caused us, enabled us to have so many good times, and caused us to have such a good team, and you're educating such fine young men. Thank you very much.
The only reason I'm up here is because of 2 reasons. One reason is that I was here in '59, and all you boys. I was his first recruit.
You were skinny.
I was his first recruit. That's the first mistake he made. That's the first mistake he made. And it all started across the whole course. And he's a dear friend of mine because he's from Cott County. Me and Charles coming too, but he wanted to get out alive, I guess, over at Cott County. It started with that. He recruited me, and I've got a little gift for you here. I'm supposed to be the historian. The other reason I'm here because I was here all through the mid-'60s and '59, and then I was reincarnated in the '70s. I was here to keep Oakland from burning the campus down, and I did that well. I kept him here and kept everything going for Coach Mahaffey for about 5, 6 years. And then I thought I could coach too, so I came back to Asia for about 7 years, and we got to go back out to the Golden Ox and all that. So I was here for 30 years. The only one other, during those 3 decades, I've been here. I've been here now too. I live in Harrison. Frosty Hope he turn over in his grave. I've been teaching at Lincoln LM Booth. I've been teaching up there for 14 years, I guess. Supposed to be 14. But I have 8 o'clock classes, and the reason I get up at 5 o'clock, I can get up there and I shoot a little though, 4 o'clock. Shoot a little, and I can have my classes, and I don't have to worry about winning ball games. I get in the car and come back. See, but the things that you taught us, made everybody in here. Of course, I was a typical poster boy for Midland.
I mean, that's it. Jack was saying he gave him trouble. He don't know nothing does to go. He live in that spot. But anyhow, the thing about it, I can see it just play. I can see he brought them boys in. If it had all these boys here, they had went to nationals. They might have won the nationals. They no better player than Harry Sparks. Les Pete, he can shoot it like anybody. Jackie can play the game, but he only had him for 2 years, and some of them just 1 year. Harry Sparks put his elbows on them. There was somebody asked me, I think he played the 70s, he said, Coach, he talked to me, he said, you know, I didn't even get nominated for that all-century basketball team. I said, man, I played 4 guards, 59 better than you. I mean, they just didn't get, they were the forerunner. And Arnold Hillinger was before them. I mean, they made it happen. That's why we got a lot of publicity, and that's why we went to national. That's what it was, and they kept it going. And then Coach Campbell, then he brought in Clark and Albert, and then he brought in Gilbert there. And I'm just mentioning the names. I had a picture made out there a while ago. I'm gonna answer one question y'all been wanting to know. I was here in the 70s. I was here in the 80s. 2 questions. Did Coach Campbell, could he have coached those 70 group? Could he have coached that 80 group? I'll answer that in a minute before I answer this, but no, I'm gonna tell you, everybody asked me because I was here, who was the best teams? There ain't no doubt. This bunch right here. Hey, you made history. I can tell you that truthfully. I'm gonna tell you, I've been on the same court with Dr. Robinson, Rick Berry, Cassie Russell. I've been to all of them. Jerry Schiff, you don't even know who he is. He led the Olympics in scoring twice. I mean, I was out there with him. I'll take Gill at guard, and I'll put the Albert in there at center, and I'll take Mr. Triple Double, Clark Bryant, and the Mule, and I'll whip them people if we've got coach. Okay? And just what Gill and some of you have already said, the thing that changed the program was, and by the way, I don't know who was up here talking about them sorry old folk players, but they got theirs. I got to play 9 years in Georgia, 6, 7 years in Georgia. Tommy Norwood and Bobby Nance, they had to bite the bullet. We killed them. They was trying to play out of Atlanta. We killed them. I played for a team, we beat them every year. I've got to write it, so we'll bring that back, who Jerry was talking about pinholes and that stuff. But anyhow, there we were, and then he got to see what we did. Here's the philosophy, Coach Campbell. Right here it is, you and Gil know it well. This sucker here, and I'm going to give you, see, I dedicated, see, I'm a historian. See, I got a doctorate from the University of Georgia. I couldn't even spell doctorate. I got a master's from Ole Miss. You know why? All them practices, lining up out there at NAIA, getting in them shuttle buses, looking at Big Willis reading them in the eye before you play them, you know. We don't give up. He's the cause of it. He's the cause of, you know, everybody else is in here is retired. I'm going strong. We've won 10 straight. We've won the Senior Olympics. I thought it was in the Special Olympics. We went down there to Austin Peay, Coach. You'll be proud of this. And we've won it 10 years in a row, 3-on-3. Big come down there. And he, you know, of course, he's an age group younger than me. We've won it through all that, but I still play. I enjoy it. 3-on-3. You know, I'm not going to run down the court. And we're going to roast you a little bit here.
You never would run up and down the court.
No, that's true. That's true. But now, here's the deal. After he got to that going, and then what he would do, now here's what he'd do. I'm just going to tell you. I'm not a, of course, you can't psycho, con, but here's the deal. Coach Campbell, and we didn't know it at the time. All you players, everybody here, we didn't know it at the time what he's doing. See, I went into the coaching business, and I came here as a coach. And now I know what he was trying to get across. It took us a little while after we got out of school, and everybody's got a Campbell joke and all that. I'm going to tell you what he does. What he did, he'd bring you along, if you was a freshman sophomore, he'd bring you along a little bit, you know. But he would kill people. He would put you in a deep, dark hole. He could put you down in that pit. Now, if you could climb out of that pit, and you could survive, see, he knew he had something. See, and that's why he was teaching us life. Although we didn't like it at the time. Now, once you become a player, and maybe you was a captain, or you was a scorer, or you was this, that, and the other, then he would really stay on you, and he'd always have a youngster, you know, say, well, you can't play. You know, he'd be like He'd be like Frosty Hope. Frosty say, you don't know your ass from third base. He might say a little stronger, you know. Frosty good buddy, man. But, you know, I've been out here in these trees hooting many a night. This sucker here about drove me crazy. But what he was doing, he would put you down and see. The thing about that's old school. When I was coaching, I'd let them dig their hole themselves, and then I'd probably help them back up. Now, he left you in that hole. Now, when I graduated, he'd jump on Gilbert, you know, and he'd have Roy pushing him, and then he'd get on Roy, then he'd get Jerry in here. He said, I've got a player better than you ever think about, you know. But he was God, too. I still wake up at night with cold sweats, man. Am I going to get to play tonight? You know? And I just worried about, but he'd make you so mad, he'd make you try so hard that there ain't no way nobody gonna lose. And that's what he did, and it paid off in life, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in here, Coach, owe so much to you because of what you did. And I'll close with this story to just see how you operate. So he'd get you so far down, and then he'd pick you up, and boy, you just, boy, Lord. He'd sit me on, he'd run me out of practice more than anybody. He threw me off the team, and they'll tell you, he'll never tell you. Just to get out of practice, all he'd say, you don't ever come here, you know. I'm not score 40 or something, but he'd say, you ain't playing no defense. He stayed on me, Lord, he tried. Well, I didn't know what was going on, but I was sort of hyper anyhow, I was a little nervous, but I hung in there. So I'll tell you a story. So everything went pretty smooth, you know, my senior year. I was just bloody, I was just captain, we was ready, we was taking to them, we was going to win it all. I was sick. I changed my game because we discovered weights, and I so helped me, Coach, to tell you this story. I gained 20 pounds. I came to Carson Newman weighing 150, 155, and I started 205. I gained 50-something pounds. And I still hit them weights, Coach. But he didn't know too much about them weights. But Ernie Hill, we found an old weight bench down there in Ernie. So that's what started the weights. I gained 20 and won some. Because you know why? He told me I was going to have to take it to the hole, but shooting them 30 foot. So I believe it. I changed my complete game. I came in here 20 spots. When I went to the hole this time, brother, they was going to be some further flying, right? Because they didn't give you no, hey, they didn't give you, they gave you the bucket. So all I got was, you know, I could knock somebody's teeth out. We could lay it in the bucket. The bucket was good. All I got was a foul. Right? But you take 200-something pounds when I was used to be 150. He changed my game. Okay, so I did what he said. So we edged along there, senior year, you know, and we'd done been the Nationals year before, and we was on the road, and this is the darndest story I've ever seen. So we closed it out there, and we was going to play my last home game. Everybody, I was the only senior. Because Gil and me, you know, that's all right. So I looked up, they was going to have Newport night. Oh my God. We're going to have Newport night. Well, I didn't know too much about it, but they publicized it during the week, you know. Well, it was mad at me. I didn't think they'd start. So they give me the key to the city, you know. Here comes the mayor from Newport. 500 people came in. They brought the high school band. They was packed all in. I come out, boy, I was giving it to you. For about 5 minutes, that's all it took. He took me out. And I got to say, I looked at him and I said, Coach, these people, they sort of come over here. He said, there ain't no I in the word team. I'll never forget. He looked at me. He said, you know, you spell, it's we instead of me. You know, I said, well, but, you know, it's my last game. I said, I'd like to play. He looked at me straight in the eye. He said, hell, Jones, we'll go win the national championship with and without you. That's what he told me. So I didn't say nothing. He had been good to me all year. I just sit back, enjoyed the game. And I said, well, I'm through. Because there's two things you knew when you was through. After he left with the flat top, he got his hair about like it is now. We called it the shake-haired madness. And what he'd do, he'd shake his head. He'd shake his hair, see. Then, when he got a little cocky and we started going to the national tournament and all that, I'm gonna tell tell you something, if he shook his hair and checked his shoulder, he was through. If he did a mold, you was through. Am I right? That's the way it worked. We didn't know it back then, but now, Coach, we appreciate it. We did, I'm telling you. And what he did when I was leaving, this way it was. He took it to the bottom, but he told me that we got one of the nationals that year. That was a good year and everything. And he came when I got drafted and all this kind of stuff. He came and he dropped me in my office. I stayed as far away from him as I could because I was scared to death of him. Still am. If he told me to jump, I'd say how high. But they don't many coaches left like that. So we got to have that today. He come to me. He brought me in his office. Just brings tears. He told me this. He said, I brought you out here. He told me, he said, I put you in that hole and you climbed it. He said, I'm going to adopt me a little boy and I'm going to name him Chris after you because you came out. And I've got a little grandson named Chris over there. He won't give him my instructional tapes. I gave to him. I'll give it to you, Chris. We love you so much, Coach. And I'll tell you, we love you. I'm speaking for everybody. We didn't love you sometimes. We love you now, though. We know. We wouldn't have got doctorates. We wouldn't have done all that stuff. But, you know, I wrote this little It Gets Boggy at Mossy Creek, and there's about 30-something verses on there. This has to do with all sports. I wrote a book in '75, you know, I did that kind of thing, and we were going to try to have Mossy Creek Part 2, but we can't afford it, you know. Boog and them, they won't pay for it. Yeah, this cost me $1,000 right here. This is my donation. Carson Newman right here. But this is the last of it too, right here. If any of you ever got that book, you'll know how much I love Carson Newman. But I had the epic in there, but we had to finish it. But I wrote this even back in '75. This is one of the verses. In basketball, he brought the Eagles national acclaim. He was a little general. Dick Campbell was his name. At Carson Newman, they always won and only lost a few away. It was a little foggy around the visitors' goals, so they say. Right? Well, I'll read you this last verse down here because we really don't know exactly what the future will hold, but the fog still rises at the creek, so I've been told. So if you come to this Baptist school looking for a win, you must realize the old fog will get you in the end. Now I'm going to close with this. Because this is what the camel called us. This company good. And I lived on this. And I tell you, I keep going hard. I get up at 5, I go hard. I lift my weights today, Coach. You get proud. I've got about 35 minutes of cardio. I'm ready to go with it. But I'm going to tell you, in life, here was the deal. Here's what he taught us. Galatians 6, 4, and 5. And everything that you do it to the very best of your ability. So you'll have the personal satisfaction of work well done, and you won't need to compare yourself with anyone else. Because each one of us have faults and burdens of our own, for none of us is perfect. So all he did, he taught us how to do our best. When we walked off that floor, son, we'd give it everything we got. We went to the flag food, we went out here, we went to morning watch and prayed, and we was going, and in life, that's what we're doing, Coach. We appreciate you, we love you.
61 team. From North College Hill, Ohio, Dale Hires. From Powell, Tennessee, J.W. Jones. From Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Jack Paddles Unbig. From Lenore City, Tennessee, Harry Sparks. From the 1962 team, from Knoxville, Tennessee, Walt Valentine. From the 63 team, from Kingsport, Tennessee, Clark Bryant. From Goodlettsville, Tennessee, Jim Collins. From Newport, Tennessee, Chris Jones. From Louisville, Tennessee, Albert Iceberg. From the 64 team, from Pee Wee Valley, Kentucky, Bruce Bierman. From Hard Money, Kentucky, Gerald Ellington. From Lenore City, Tennessee, Gil Luttrell. And from Rutledge, Tennessee, Doug Moody. From the 65 team, from Knoxville, Tennessee,